I told you that you could hold the power to save someone's life right at your fingertips? Thousands of people die each year waiting for an organ transplant, and that is why I want to encourage you to become a donor and save a life. After thoroughly researching this topic, I have gained a tremendous amount of knowledge on organ donation and transplants. I have been an organ donor since I was 18, but it wasn't until recently that I thoroughly understood what this meant. Today I will share with you some facts, stories, and myths about organ donation and show you how easy it is to give the gift of life. There are countless causes of death each year, but many of them can be avoided with our help. An average of 18 people die each day waiting for an organ transplant. That number will continue to rise as the number of people on the waiting list continues to grow rapidly. According to organdonor.gov, there are currently enough people waiting for an organ to fill up an NFL football stadium twice. Due to various diseases and ailments that impact organ function, many individuals are living with a reduced quality of life. WebMD tells us that these diseases include diabetes, lupus, Crohn's disease, cirrhosis of the liver, and coronary artery disease. These individuals have to live a life of pain and weakness because they cannot perform daily routine tasks. Many of these people will require more assistance from family and friends, and often they will need 100% of full-time care from a medical professional. There are nearly 121,000 people in the United States alone waiting for a transplant. From January to November of 2013, there were only 26,513 reported transplants performed. At the University of Massachusetts Hospital, 238 people were on a transplant list just last year. However, there were only 19 donors reported. Minorities such as African Americans, Asians, Pacific Islanders, Native Americans, and Hispanics are much more susceptible to chronic conditions that affect organ function, such as the kidneys, heart, lungs, pancreas, and liver. Certain blood types are more prevalent in these ethnicities, and because a matching blood type is necessary for organ donation, there is an especially higher need for donors in these ethnic groups. Despite the rising need for organ donation and the rapidly growing waiting lists, people are still hesitant to become donors. Much of this is due to the lack of information and education, and many people are not registered donors. There are many myths about organ donation that seem to cause hesitation in potential donors. All too often, people do not know what donation involves. You can either be a living or deceased donor. Some organs, such as our kidneys, can be donated while we're still alive. You must agree to a series of requirements, such as blood tests and simple tests like that, and that will determine if you're a match for the recipient. And according to WebMD, a living donor must be in good health and between the ages of 18 to 60. The Applied Therapeutics textbook tells us that transplant costs range anywhere from $50,000 for a kidney to $250,000 for a heart or liver. This expense is solely taken care of by the transplant recipient. As if the health and emotional issues of that aren't tough enough, they'll also have tremendous financial struggles after the fact, which is just another reason that we should try to help them as much as we can. Some myths that deter people from becoming an organ donor include, I won't really be dead when they sign my death certificate. However, this is extremely false because when people are listed as an organ donor, they take extra precautions to time out the harvesting of the organs, and so they ensure that you're actually dead. And then another one is my family will be charged more if I donate my organs after I die, but in fact the donors never pay a dime. The transplant recipient, as said before, takes care of all the expenses. Finally, organ donation is against my religion. That's a common myth that people use as an excuse for not becoming an organ donor. And it actually is consistent with most religious beliefs. Roman Catholicism, most branches of Judaism, and most Protestant faiths all agree with the donation process. And if you have any questions, you're encouraged to seek out answers from your clergy. According to the PubMed Scholarly Journal article, the most common reason that organs of medically suitable potential donors are not recovered is because of their disagreements with the families. Many family members do not fully understand the process, and when someone is deathly ill, they can't make that decision on their own. Their families must kind of support that. Healthcare professionals have been encouraged to facilitate information to the families and provide any sort of answers that they need. So many people have questions about this process, and that may discourage them from taking the steps necessary to donate. Healthcare providers are available to answer questions and procure the necessary paperwork and need to become a donor. After learning about the benefits of organ donation, many people realize they want to become a donor. Becoming a donor is one of the easiest ways we can give back. An article written for the Mayo Clinic informs us that one organ donor can improve up to 50 lives. Organs, tissues, and blood can all be donated from person to person. And this image is taken from donatelifeny.org, and it shows the 11 different body parts that are currently successful in donation. That includes the eyes, corneas, heart valves, lungs, liver, kidneys, intestines, pancreas, femoral and saphenous veins, skin, bone, and tendons. And those are just what we have today. 24-year-old Greg Musachuk of Ohio died just last month. He was a caring and helpful guy all of his life, according to his family. Sadly, Greg was killed in a tragic car accident. Even though this is a very sad event, he was able to donate his organs and save 4 lives immediately. He was also possibly saving up to 50 more. The author of the article, Evan McDonald, tells us about Greg. He was an organ donor, and his family was very supportive of that. Friends and family of Greg said he was always the giving type. He never quit helping and was always a positive person. His story shares with us that selflessness that we all wish we could carry on. Greg was only one person who chose to donate himself to others. Think of what we could do just in this room alone if we all chose to donate and save a life. It's extremely easy to sign up and become an organ donor. If you have internet access, log on to organdonor.gov and they will give you a step-by-step process. It's very simple. You just enter in your information and they walk you right through it. Another way is to go to the driver's license station when you need to renew and just mark yes. They'll ask you right there, and some states even offer a discount if you select that you're an organ donor. If you have any other questions about becoming a donor, there's countless resources in your community, online, or at local hospitals and clinics. In closing, I would like you to really try and understand all of the facts that we discussed today. There are many ways in which we can help those in need. I strongly encourage you to evaluate what you are willing to give back in this lifetime. We can all agree that giving the gift of life is by far the best gift we could give. I hope you have learned about organ donation today. You heard some stories, facts, and information about this growing problem and how you can easily help those in need. Thousands of people die each year waiting for an organ transplant, and that is exactly why I wanted to encourage you today to become a donor. Thank you for taking the time to learn about this issue, and